Okay, here we are. I'm back from Florida. I had this is episode 12.
Yeah, nothing
But
like leaving me alone.
yeah, well, what can I tell you? My oldest sister passed away, so I had to go down to Florida and take care of business and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I really sad to hear that. I know
yeah.
she was sick for a long time,
Yeah.
but and it's it kind of timed right. You were down there when she lost,
Yeah.
when she passed.
Right. I thought she would still be lingering on when I left because I went down for a week, my wife and I, but she passed away in the middle of the week, so that's life. What can you do? There's nothing you can do about it. It's sad. I loved my sister. She was great.
Yeah,
But
I remember her when we were kids.
that, yep, yep,
Unbelievable.
yep.
Yeah, well, we're on that same slide, so
Yeah, we are. Yeah, yep.
but it's a little longer for us, I hope.
So what's going on in the world? Lots going on in the world, huh?
This is going to be a long show, guys, so be prepared.
It's unbelievable. Did you see the near miss already?
Yeah, another one.
Another one.
Yeah,
And they're gonna
Chicago.
blame Trump for that. It's all Trump's fault.
Yeah, he laid off the people that made him turn.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
Chicago, right?
For Chicago, a little jet
Yeah.
didn't listen to the control tower. The control tower said to stop at this certain runway because of a
The plane was landing, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? What plane was it? I forget the airline. Southwest airline was coming, and the Southwest pilot saw it, touched ground, but then he lifted up again
Right up over the
over
crossing
the
plane.
plane.
Oh
Right.
my gosh.
Yep.
It's my kid just took a flight to Vegas to
Right.
shoot pool. And I was worried, all the stuff that's going on. I was a little bit worried about him.
Well, it's funny. I'm
Yeah,
just reading about a plane that he went on United,
yeah, he
and
was on United to
now he
Vegas.
left at 8:35 or something like that.
8:45.
This
Yeah.
plane left at 6 or 6:30. Had to revert and come back because the plane was bad and it was going to Vegas.
Oh, great.
So they had to bring the plane back. Everybody got off the plane,
I'm glad he didn't pick that
and
flight.
they wind up having to go on another plane going to Vegas. So they were probably on the plane that Joey was on.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to tell him. He
Yeah,
probably doesn't even know about it.
yeah,
I'll
probably
tell him when
not.
he gets home. Well, a lot of funny things happen. Now, don't get me wrong. The fires in California were like absolutely devastating.
Right.
We all know that. So this is not, by any means to make fun of what happened, but Kamala or whatever her name is, Miss Harris, who was vice president, decided to show up there.
Right.
And what do they call it? Word salads, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
She just started talking about how being there was unbelievable and how she could not only see the devastation but smell it
Smell
and
the
and
devastation.
feel it and
Feel it.
spiritual and so she was going on and on and on and on. So what I found interesting enough is really what she was supposed to say. And first, let me show you the clip of her talking. I'll give you that first.
All right.
What goes through your mind when you see this? You're here, you're now seeing it up close.
It's not only seeing it, Alex, you can smell it. You can feel it, right? So it's seeing it with our eyes, and many people have seen it. You all are covering it. But to literally be on the ground here, you can smell the smoke that was here. You can feel the toxicity, frankly, of the environment. You can feel the energy of all of the folks who are still here on the ground.
All right, did you get that?
Yes, I did.
But here's what she was supposed to say. This was written for her, and she screwed it all up. To see this devastation and to see the people devastated by this devastation is just devastating to all the devastated people by this devastating fire. That's what she was supposed to say.
Wow, that's really
So she mixed
devastating.
up her salads.
Unbelievable. Do you imagine if she was president? I just can't. I can't.
Scary. Scary.
It was scary. Really.
Anyway, people were, and I know she went down there with all good intentions, and but she just can't come out and say, this was tragedy,
Right.
and what if she's spinning it to smell it and feel it and all
Yeah.
this other stuff. Anyway, I thought it was half comical. But,
Yep.
um, I was going to talk. I want to give some credit to Caroline Levitt.
She is 27 years old. with a child. She just had a child.
Right.
Crazy.
She
really
is,
good.
She is fantastic. I mean, what a breath of fresh air.
Oh my God.
And she doesn't come up there and just say what people want to hear. She tells them the truth.
Tells them the truth is right.
This is what it is.
Yep.
And compared to the last one that was in there, Jean-Pierre or something,
whatever her name was.
Yeah. But she just looks
and the
so
one before
intelligent.
her, the redhead.
Oh yeah.
Now it's on MSLSD.
Yeah. Yeah. So this, I mean, to us, she's a kid. She's 27 years old.
I know.
She looks fantastic. So professional.
Yep.
Handles these people when they get up to podium, and she Peter Ducci had actually asked her a question, and the way she handled it, I thought this was good. This was another clip. We're going to be running some clips tonight, but this is another clip of her handling some of the questions that came through.
Some elected Democrats are so steamed about Doge. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver says we are at war. Ilhan Omar says we might actually see somebody get killed. And Chris Van Hollen says we have to fight this in the Congress. We have to fight this in the streets. So what now?
And may I just point out, if you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the receipts of this federal government and ensure it's accountable to American taxpayers. That's all that is happening here. And for Democrat officials to incite violence and encourage Americans to take to the streets is incredibly alarming, and they should be held accountable for that rhetoric.
Okay, we're back.
Wow.
Yeah, huh?
It's unbelievable.
I know.
Really. It's such. You're right. It's such a breath of fresh air.
And she was on today with another press conference, and they started drilling her again about this. Name 5 things you did last week.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's
Now,
freaking
Joe
out about
and
this.
Bill and I have been in sales, right?
Yep.
So I want to tell you the company I work for, and I'm not going to plug them. We did this every day.
Yep.
And it wasn't just, and one of the things people were saying was, oh, your boss's boss never gets involved. Well, not in my book. My boss's boss was on there on our calls. What did you do yesterday? Who were you riding with? What did you do? And what's your plans today? We had to come up with something every day in a spreadsheet and then present it on a Zoom call on top of it. So,
I mean, I sold cars all my life.
Yeah.
When I was selling Acuras, I did that for about 18, 19 years. Every Friday, I had to submit to my manager who I call. Well, first, how many people did you sell for the week? How many people did you talk to? And then who you talked to, and what was the outcome of you talking to them, even if you waited on them 4 months ago, 5 months ago. If you talked to them, you put it down, he wanted to see what you talked about.
What was the follow-up, too?
Even if they're not interested anymore. You had to put something down so you could tell them, no, they're just not interested anymore. They didn't get mad or anything. They just wanted to see that you're not goofing off,
right?
And you're actually doing work and calling people, and that's what you did. Especially with sales and your clients, that's what you did. And I don't know.
No, it's true. And
here's my take on it. I understand change is bad. You got people that work there for a long time, and all of a sudden they got to do something that they're not used to doing. I was the perfect example of that. We always changed every year or two. They got a new sales program that we had to abide to.
Sure.
And I was the first one that rejected it. Oh, I don't have to do that. I've been doing this for years, and this, that, and the other thing. People don't like change. They get comfortable at their job. They get comfortable with what they're doing, and I understand that it is. But what Trump is trying to do with Elon Musk is trying to save the country some money. That's all he's doing. And the thing is, if you email John Smith and they don't get an email back, they want to know, is there really a John Smith?
That's right.
Why are we paying him, Mr. John Smith? It's not just seeing what you're doing and trying to spy on you and see what you're doing. They want to know if there's actually people out there that are actually employed by the government, that they're sending these emails out, and are they getting checks? Which they shouldn't be.
Right.
You know.
When I got an email from my boss saying, hey, I need this, this, and this, if I didn't respond by noon, he'd call me. Did you get my email this morning?
Yeah.
Are you alive? You okay?
Yeah.
You know, and that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Alina Habba was caught in a parking lot, and they started asking her the same question. She goes, I wrote 5 things down in 2 minutes that I did. I can give you 20 in a half an hour.
Right.
You know, not I don't need a week. So to give you 5 bullet points for an entire week's worth of work.
Right.
And they are going to reward the people that are coming back with some professional, you know, real answers, and hopefully they're going to come back. But they're just doing an audit.
Yeah.
You know, who's working, who's not, who's at home, and you know, it's always the screamers, the loudest that, you know. And I understand some people lost their jobs, a lot of people. But you know, if you think back, there were 10,000 pipeline workers that were laid off when Biden first came in to shut down that pipeline.
That's right.
And he said, deal with it.
Deal with it. That's right. He did.
So, you know, now we got everybody crying.
Yeah.
It's, we got a lot. My mind is going crazy here. Speaking of crying, Joy Behar. I'm sorry. Back up. What's the name?
Joy Reid.
Joy
Oh my
Reid.
God, she's so racist.
You know,
I've never seen anybody so racist in my life.
Yeah, her whole show seemed to be that way. And now they fired her. MSNBC fired her. Now, Maddow, who's also on MSNBC, all of a sudden plays the race card that the last 2 layoffs came because they were African American. That's not the case, right? So more lies from that side of the fence, but she might be next if she don't watch what she's saying.
But there's some of the things that she's said in the past 5, 6, 8 years. It's just like ridiculous. Some of the racist. That's why nobody's watching their channel. Nobody cares about MSNBC anymore. Nobody watches it. People are starting to go away from CNN too. I mean, nobody watches that stuff. People are watching podcasts. Nobody's watching NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, who's now gone. He's gone. Nobody's watching CBS Nightly News or ABC. No. I mean, nobody cares about that.
You know where they get their news from? Us.
Podcasts, things like that.
Yeah,
that's where they get it. Yeah. People who care. People don't care. I know there's a lot of people that, I don't want to watch the news. I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. And this, that thing. And that's fine. That's okay. But this is where we go diving in and getting facts about what's going on.
Right. And they're tired of hearing lies. Like I heard the other day, somebody was on there screaming and yelling about this. What the heck was he yelling about? There's so many things they're yelling about. That this whole plan to save money and then put it in the pockets of the billionaires and the millionaires, not the taxpayers.
Right.
I mean, that's a flat lie. Where do you get that kind of information?
Right. And then they're also, he's looking into private information from people. What do you think? Elon Musk wants to scam you out of $500 on your credit card or something like that?
Exactly. And that's a good point, because I was going to say, they're making a big deal about Social Security numbers, right?
Oh, God.
So the state federal agencies have us already. The tax has us, right? Welfare offices, Department of Motor Vehicles, they have our Social Security.
Yeah.
And you got Poindexter behind the counter at the DMV.
Yeah.
Has your Social Security number right there.
Yep.
So this is not a top secret tiny thing.
It's not really. Right.
Businesses, right? When I got hired, they run the Social Security number. They do the background checks. They do all this stuff. So there's a lot of people that have access to your Social Security number.
Yep.
I'm not saying you just want to put it up there on a poster.
Right.
But at the same time, you get the richest man in the world. Like I said in the last podcast, he's not going to take a loan out on my Social Security number. You know, if anybody, Poindexter at the DMV might do that.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
Yep.
So, and with the USID, they're still finding stuff, and they're still, you know, they just discovered. I guess they laid off 2,000 workers, by the way.
Yeah.
But they discovered they gave $2 billion to Haiti.
Jeez.
You know what percentage they got? They actually received 2%.
2%. Yep.
2% of $2 billion.
Yep.
So where is it going, guys? And this is why everybody's scared
and
yelling
right.
on the
And going back to the Social Security issue, they're talking about Social Security. I mean, we used to hear for the last 10, 15 years, You and I have heard it. Oh, there's no going to be no Social Security in
Yep.
2030 or 2035. It's going to be running out. Well, if they keep paying people that are 100 years old and paying all that money, of course there's not going to be any money
Right.
left. If they stop all that and find out where this money is going, maybe Social Security will last to about 2050, 2060.
Yeah, without getting cuts
Right.
to us. Yeah, it's it's pretty funny. But you know, there's so many things going on. Like I said, my mind's going here, but I wanted to talk also, besides the Social Security and everything else we're talking about, Tom Holman. So
Is
he's
he great or what?
he is, he should be a politician someday.
Oh my God. I'm going to Boston. I'm bringing hell.
Yeah. He was at CPAC. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's a Conservative Political Action Conference. He was at CPAC, and this guy comes out, and they're cheering for him. And he goes, "Listen, I just want to let you all know that if I offend anybody tonight, I don't give a shit." And that's just the way he said it. And let me run this. You got to hear this yourself.
You gotta hear this.
Let me start out by saying this. If I offend anybody today, I don't give a shit. Don't care. The media in the back room, I'm sure I'll be reading a lot of hit pieces on me tomorrow. I don't give a shit what you think about me. Because we got a job to do. I wake up every day for the last 4 years pissed off because the Biden administration took the most secure border in my lifetime and unsecured it on purpose, right? I worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I ever worked for took steps to secure the border. Even Clinton and Obama took steps to secure the border because they clearly understood you can't have national security without border security. They got it.
That clip reminds me of a comedian named Orny Adams. You got to see this guy. The guy's got a great.
I think you showed me a long time ago.
Oh, he's great. He really is.
Oh, I remember. Isn't he the guy that came out to the mic and it was like beginning of the show?
Right at the beginning of the show, he comes walking out. They're all cheering for him, and then he goes, "Did I offend anybody yet?"
Yeah, he didn't even say anything yet. That was very good. Orny Adams, I'll give him a little plug here. The guy's pretty good. Now he's got a podcast too now. And he talks.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
He talks. He just does it over the mic now, whatever. But yeah, and I'm going to just show you the clip because I just showed you the Tom Holman, but I want to show you Orny Adams here. Here, it's a 2-second clip.
All right, we only have an hour. Have I offended anybody yet?
All right, yeah. So anyway, this guy's great. He does a whole skit about what are you allergic to? He points into the crowd, We're not allergic to peanuts. You know why? Because our parents fed us peanuts.
More peanuts.
More peanuts. Yeah. We drank from a hose, Very good comedian. If you haven't seen him, look him up. He's a good guy. But yeah, Tom Holman, and then you're right. That's when he said, "Hey, you're going to give me trouble. I'm bringing hell."
I'm bringing hell. I'm going to Boston, and I'm bringing hell.
Because
Because
again,
evidently, the police commissioner in Boston is trying to harbor some of these illegal immigrants that are law-breaking immigrants. They've committed crimes, stealing, rape, all this, and he wants to harbor them. Why? I don't understand. What is?
I know. Here we go again.
Why are they doing this? Why do they want to keep these immigrants in their city? Why? Why would you want to do that? I don't get
if you're
it.
harboring a criminal, isn't that a crime?
I know,
in
it's a
itself?
crime. It's crazy. It really is. I don't get it. I really don't. My wife says that all the time. When I tell her about all the billions and billions of stars, she always says, how do they know that? I don't get it.
No, harboring criminals is a crime. And they're going to go after these people that do this all the time. And, you can't, it's like with me hiding somebody that's, running from the law. I would be behind bars.
Right.
I saw a really good, in the same line here with these illegal immigrants, I should say. There was a girl on there. She was from Germany, and her parents came over when she was a little girl, and she had to fill out all the paperwork to become a citizen.
Right.
And she told a story on how her driver's license was going to expire, and she went down to renew her driver's license, didn't realize her green card expired.
Oh.
And they told her right there that you need to get this fixed or you're going to be deported. And she was a little bit taken back because of all the fighting that's going on, now with deporting illegal aliens. And she said, and she made a really good point, for all the people that did it right, this is why we should deport the people that did it wrong or just came over the border.
Yep.
Your parents
Yep.
were immigrants. My parents were immigrants. We all came over. We built this country.
Yep.
But we came
and they
over
came
the right
in
way.
legally.
Yeah.
They didn't come streaming over the border.
It was one doorway. Front door was Ellis Island.
Ellis Island, right.
Yep.
Way, way back.
And if they did anything differently, the boats were intercepted, all that stuff. Nothing happened.
Did you ever find that clip of Holman talking to AOC? And he's talking about the border, and she's saying that they're not illegals coming over the border. He says, yes, they are. If they don't come through the regular channels, the regular entry points, they're illegals.
Yeah.
It's a great clip.
Yeah. The other one, the other clip was, I think it was a reporter that asked him, are you deporting criminals first? And what about the immigrants that were not criminals? And he said, if they came over the border,
They're criminals.
They're criminals.
Yeah.
If they illegally cross the border, they're criminals.
Yep.
And so they are targeting the bad ones first. But if you're walking down the street with some guy who's illegal, it's a crime. You're going with him.
Right.
And that's, we talked about this 100 times already because it's just been, ongoing. And again, like you said, why are they fighting to keep these people in?
I just don't get it. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, why are you fighting this?
Yeah.
It's all because they don't like Trump. And they don't want Trump to look good. Trump is actually doing this.
Right.
All the other presidents who said that they were going to do it, they never did it.
Yep.
He's doing it.
30 days in, and this guy just keeps running, man. And he's visible. He's, talking to reporters every day.
Yep.
Caroline Leavitt mentioned it today that a special group gets going to go in the Oval Office.
Yep.
And they did they sued her and the White House and somebody else, AP.
Oh, yeah.
They
Associated
won't
Press.
say Gulf of
Yep. The
America.
Associated Press has been around forever, but they're very left-wing leaning. They really are. They're terrible.
Well, they attempted to sue her.
Right.
To get back into the judge overturned it. Said no, you don't.
They have the right to. If they don't want you in there asking questions, they have the right to say leave.
Yeah,
simple as that. Don't come back.
Yeah, and that's what the judge ruled. So that was good. I'm glad. And all these people. We got Letitia James is in the news again, trying to stop Trump from getting into all the files in New York and doing this. So they did grant it a halt right now to Doge in New York. But I'm hoping they overturn that, which they probably will.
Yeah, they will.
And then, you're right. You're exactly right. Where the pushback is just because they hate Trump.
Yeah.
Right. So you have the governor of Maine, right?
I saw that.
Was that fantastic or what? Trump is. She goes, well, we're going to follow the federal and state laws. He goes, well, I'm the federal. We're the federal law. What are you talking about? Anyway, this Janet Mills is pushing against Trump about boys and girls sports. Now, I thought we were over this hump and people understood what, what's going on here, And there was recently an event, pole vault, when they take the stick and I don't know how they do that, and they bend it and go over the top.
Yeah.
There was a guy who ranked 9th or 10th among the men. Well, he decided that he wanted to be a woman.
Right.
And he gets into this event, and guess what? Takes first place.
Takes first place, right.
They said the girls were just devastated.
And I that's the other thing. The Me Too movement with the women. Wouldn't you think that they would be, like, insulted by this?
Right.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't make it. You want to transition, that's fine. But don't let a guy that wants to be a girl play in women's sports and beat them all the time, just like with that blonde swimmer.
Yeah. Riley Gaines.
Yeah, Riley Gaines. I mean, these girls worked all their lives trying to be number one, and all of a sudden a male comes in
and they're stripped of the
and they're all of a sudden they're stripped from the whole I don't know. Just the way it is.
Well, so this one, let me show you the clip and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
But I understand Maine Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
Well, we are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
So that's pretty good, right?
That is very good.
Trump leans over.
Who
and
would
goes,
ever think you'd see something like that?
Yeah.
But talk about transparency in the White House.
Right.
Talk about transparency. You could see that. But did you notice, too, now with the press secretary?
Mhm.
What's her name again?
Caroline Leavitt.
Caroline Leavitt. Did you notice that when somebody asks the question, now the camera turns to the press who's asking the question?
Oh, yes.
And the whole press. They didn't do that during Biden. They didn't do that with Obama. Very, very rare they did that. I noticed that.
Yeah.
It's nice.
They're
They ask
showing
the
the people.
question, and then the camera turns around, and they're showing the person asking the question and showing all the reporters there and everything.
I think that's great because as
Yeah.
soon as you see the reporter from CNN, you know it's going to be a stupid question. And they shut them down.
Yeah.
But that clip, I mean, he just leaned over in the mic like this, he's like, okay, you're not going to comply? Well, you're not going to get any
Federal money
money.
for the state.
Oh, I'll see you. And then she yells in the background, I'll see you in court. And he goes, good. This will be the easiest one for me yet. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You got to laugh though, because it's so intense. There's so much going on. Bill and I can do a show every day, with all the stuff.
It's unbelievable.
That's going on.
With this new administration, there's something every day. It's like, oh my God. I wake up in the morning before I go to work, and I got to turn on the TV to see what happened the day before, because there's always something going on. And
and since we started this, I've really been digging into, trying to get the facts and watching all different news outlets and watching a lot of different podcasts and different people saying stuff so we can have all our ducks in a row when we do our show. And we can't cover everything. I mean, in a week's time, I got 5 bullet points we did this past week. What we did.
Yep.
Watched this, took notes, wrote down, whatever. But it's been a great week, and Trump just keeps moving. And like Caroline Leavitt keeps saying is, they're very, very transparent. They're not hiding anything.
Right.
Now, speaking of hiding stuff, and this is one thing I got to go against a little bit on the Elon Musk side of things.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one thing to do what he's doing, but he needs to remain professional. You can't get on stage with a giant chainsaw and let's hide behind the chainsaws. No, let's get in the running car. Oh no,
Yeah, that I don't think that's right either. I don't think it's a good look.
It's not a good look. He's not, he's this guy's a genius, but geniuses are a little quirky.
Well, he's got 13 kids.
Yeah.
12 with one on the way.
Yeah, X was in the room with him.
Right.
Names one of them X.
Yeah.
So, and he's not a good speaker. I mean, I'm not perfect either, but I think I'm a lot better than he is. He's, if you listen to him, he's chopped up a lot. He's, he's trying to get his thoughts together, but, and he's trying to have fun with it and trying to make it a little bit light. But I think that was like, look, do what you have to do, but don't rub it in.
Right.
Because that just creates more and more animosity from everybody else around. And you can't have that. But he's dancing around with the giant chain.
Yeah, with the thing. But then when the what was it, a week ago when he was in the Oval Office with Trump, he had his little boy there, cute kid and all that. But
X.
That's not. Yeah, that's his name, X. I mean, it's just not a place for that. You know what I mean?
Agree.
It's just not really a place for that. And I hope Trump will say something to him, but I think he thinks he's the richest man in the world and I can do what I want to do. But I love what he's doing. It's just I think he should change his look a little bit.
Yeah, when and whether it's bad or right or wrong, I should say, that you're laying off all these people and we're cutting all these cuts and we're doing all this stuff, you can't make fun of it. Because bottom line, it is a human being that lost his job.
Right.
It is somebody who doesn't have a job now.
Right.
Now, in fairness, they are giving him pay through September. So that's a pretty good severance for anybody. You know, and if they take the deal and they set deadlines, look, you don't have a year to think about this. You want to stay with us, stay with us.
Yeah.
Personally, we know some people too that got laid off, or had the option to stay, but they're bringing everybody back to the office. My company's doing it too. I still stay in contact with a lot of people, even though I retired,
Yeah.
and they tell me all the time that they're bringing it back to the office. They're bringing them back in the office, and I can understand it. I remember the days before COVID. I was in the office five days a week, and everybody worked together. It was we weren't on a screen all the time. We were always talking. So you know, but everybody's pushing back because it's not a peachy keen job anymore, is it? We got to work. That's the bottom line. Common sense.
That's the bottom line.
Common sense.
You
Common
got to work.
sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know that Fox News has more viewership the first month and a half than CNN and MSNBC together? If you
Combined.
if you combine their viewership,
Wow.
Fox News still has more viewership than those two networks.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
Well, they said MSNBC is really, really hurting.
Yeah.
They don't even know if
they
they're going to
are.
be around.
I don't. Yeah. Remember they were the first ones? Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember going to a rocket launch with you
Mhm.
and your friend Joe Halber, and we were going to some rocket launch in Maryland, and you two, because I know you were really into computers, you two were like so excited about this MSNBC because that's what it started out with, was some kind of a computer,
Right.
thing, and
Yeah, it was the first time.
Yep.
For
For
cable news networks or
Yeah.
whatever they were. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've seen.
Well, they
something-
had CNN before that, but
Yes.
MSNBC came out as a new thing type of you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And along with the business channels and all that stuff that
Yeah.
came in, there's so
Yep.
many of them now. You know, Bill and I come from the days. Well, we lived in New Jersey, so our major channels were 2,
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
7,
Yeah.
9,
9.
WR, and 11 for the honeymooners.
11 for the honeymooners at 11:30 at night. It was
Every
the
night.
greatest thing.
WPIX. I used to go down to his house and knock on his basement window. You awake? Come on, we're gonna watch the honeymooners tonight.
Yeah. Sometimes we would have pasta,
Raviolis, 11 o'clock at night, watching the honeymooners.
God.
Guys, we got so many stories about that. We'll sorry, throw them in here once in a while, but
Yeah.
I'll never forget the one time at your condo. I came over. I drove in from Jersey because I didn't move out here yet. And I come over in time for the honeymooners again. And we cooked 2 bags of mini raviolis.
Salentano.
24 in each bag. And we ate 2 bags. We were like rolling around like fat seals afterwards. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
But we got to see the honeymooners.
Yeah, that's
You know,
the
and
important thing.
It's the important thing.
Yeah.
Listen here, Norton.
Yeah. What a great show.
Oh, what a classic.
It was
You know,
such a
they never
good
get away
show.
with that today.
No.
Bang Zoom.
Bang Zoom.
Oh, you're asking for it, Alice. You know.
I'm king of my castle.
King of the castle.
You're nothing but a first-class seaman. Your job is to keep
Swab the deck.
the swab the deck and keep the captain happy.
Then she'd come up with some good ones.
Oh, that she did.
Where are you going? This is first class seaman Alice Crandon walking off, you know, going to the poop deck.
Before his big wind blows over.
Right. Yeah, there's some, you know, for the kids out there, honeymooners are available on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they run, I think, is it New Year's or Christmas Eve?
Christmas or something like that. Yeah, they'll run them all.
One of those New Year's, they run 24 hours a day, honeymooners. Now, there was only 39 original episodes that made it, right? It was one season.
Yeah. Yep.
But they live today. And if you ever, I know that humor is not for everybody, and it's a black and white show. Oh my God, what's that?
Yeah.
You know, but it took place in the 1950s.
Yep.
And it was funny stuff.
Jerry Seinfeld says it's probably the thing that influenced him the most was watching The Honeymooners. He said it was probably the greatest show for comedy and all that. And
Seinfeld, just second to none. I know a lot of people out there, younger generation, is more into The Office.
Yeah.
And Friends.
And it is good. But The Office is not bad.
The Office is pretty
and I
good,
understand why they like it. I could see that.
Well, it's the way look at the workforce today.
Right.
That's what it is,
Yeah.
you know? And that was before everybody stayed home to work. At least they were in the office. That's why they call it the office. They didn't call it the kitchen counter. But Seinfeld, in fact, we have a tagline that we said, our show is about nothing and everything. So we stole a little tagline from Seinfeld because his show was about nothing.
Right. Well, what about Ukraine? That's unbelievable. Now, if he gets this deal, let's just say he does, and he's trying to get minerals from the country or some money back, do you know what he's going to look like? He's definitely going to be able to get the what's that called? The Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh.
I'll definitely get
No,
that.
I still hate him.
Oh, they'll still hate it. It doesn't matter.
I said, if you cure cancer,
if you get your $5,000, you just give it to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about that. Yeah, right. So the money he's trying to save, right?
Right.
And the money we might get back from Ukraine, and all this money that might be coming back in our government. He wants to pay us, maybe we get a supplemental check for $5,000. Yeah. And all these people that are crying about how bad this is, you better not be checking that check. I want it.
I want the check too. That's right. Anybody who's out there who hates Trump, but they get a check in the mail, just sign it over to me.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I need it too.
Right.
Oh, yeah. There was one lady on TikTok, I think I was scrolling through because we're on TikTok too. She goes, well, what's $5,000 going to do? I'm like, look, lady, you probably live paycheck to paycheck just like I do because I can see you only have 4 followers, so I know you're not making money here. So I'll take the $5,000.
Yep.
It would be something, but what you're talking about Ukraine specifically is we want to sign a deal to take some minerals out of the ground, right? And pay us back that way.
Yes.
For all the money that we sent to them and the money that got lost, by the way, too. Right?
So if he makes this deal, if it's this, I mean, they're actually saying that it could go through this week.
This week, yeah.
And that would be unbelievable. What the hell was the Biden administration doing for
Nothing.
3 years?
Nothing.
Making
it
Just
worse.
giving money away, billions of dollars, equipment, all this stuff, just giving it away, and then going on the beach in Delaware.
But are they giving it away, and then was it coming back?
Right.
That's my question, and that's what they're going to find out eventually, and that's why all these people are screaming and yelling. They're in the streets saying the same crap over and over, and they're trying to distract you with stupid stories, too.
Right.
Stuff that, like I told you earlier about, the money and,
and then they're screaming that he's, like, siding with Putin.
Right.
This is the way Trump operates.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to get a deal. All he wants to do is save lives. He wants the war to end. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
So if it means chumming up with Putin a little bit, granted, do it. If it stops the war, that's the main thing.
Well, in my view, and I think the reason he's doing this is, let's face it, Putin, he doesn't want to say this either because he doesn't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, but Putin started the war.
He did.
So if he can get him to agree first,
right,
and then sit down with Zelensky,
correct,
and get it all put together. Right. Here's what he said he would do. Now, what that's
compared
what I think he's
to what he
to
said
do.
about Zelensky, saying he told Zelensky, or at a press conference, he mentioned that Zelensky, he had all this time to really straighten this out. He could have straightened it out before the war started.
Right.
And you didn't do it.
Right.
And, Biden should have stepped in there.
Yeah.
And tried to, I mean, why do we have to be, the whole Europe doesn't really do anything. They kind of follow our lead. They don't pay a lot of money. We pay all the money. They pay a fraction of it.
Right. Why do we have to babysit the entire world?
I know.
It shouldn't be our business.
I know. Yep.
But we're supposedly a superpower that, is trying to keep peace. If he, again, like you're saying, if he makes peace in the Middle East there, finally, and everybody agrees now, Zelensky, he's bending a little bit too. He may even step down to make his country a NATO country, which would make them a lot less susceptible to attacks because NATO would, the whole NATO would go after him.
Right.
And Russia lost millions of guys.
Oh, they did.
Soldiers.
They thought that they were going. It was a walk in the park.
Yeah.
It'd be over within a month.
Yeah.
Not even near that. They lost so many soldiers.
Yeah.
So many lives were lost. So many lives Ukraine were lost. Innocent lives were lost.
Think about how hard Trump's job is, right? Because he's sitting down with Putin to try to end this war and negotiate, yet we gave money to fight him.
Right.
To Ukraine.
Yes.
So how do you negotiate that?
Well, he's got to write down 5 bullet points of what he did last week. So
I think he has it.
He's got to do it.
He's got to have it.
I'm sure he did.
I'm sure he's got more than 5. Who
It's
knows?
amazing on everything that he's trying to do. It's just I don't know.
And
It's
you know,
unbelievable.
it's a small group of people that I think are nervous that, especially with this Doge, that they're going to find some money coming back in their pockets. And I think
Yeah.
that's what they're all nervous about.
Yeah,
Now,
these like we said before on the 2 weeks ago podcast. These politicians make about $250,000 to $300,000 a year,
Right.
but yet they're all worth 80 million, 100 million, 200 million. They're all worth. Where do they get all this money? They play the stock market. They give the
yeah, that's what I said.
Bitcoin way back. I mean,
Bitcoin in 2020.
right?
You said something about Laura Trump.
Yes, her debut show. I forget what it's called. The View with Laura Trump. My View with Laura Trump.
My view, yeah. It'd be nice if it was
2.4
replaced.
million views.
Really?
Just to show you, Jesse Waters, primetime, #1 among the demo and cable news, averaging 518,000, which is great. Compared to CNN and MSNBC, they got
Right.
4 views, and CNN got 7. No, they got
Yeah.
more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unbelievable. They just kill CNN and MSNBC.
Wow. Wow.
That's their management.
Is she Trump related?
Who? Laura?
Laura Trump?
Yeah, that's Rick. That's Eric Trump's wife.
Oh, Eric Trump's wife. Yeah, I should have known that. Yeah, okay.
Well, her first show, she interviewed Tulsi Gabbard, Pam Bondi,
Right.
and Caroline Levitt.
Okay.
And,
I got to get caught up on that.
it's
'cause
really
I missed
good.
it.
I watched it. It's fantastic. It really is. She goes into the lives of, and that stupid owner of the Mavericks. What's his name? I forget his name.
Yeah.
Trump, he doesn't surround himself with powerful women. He has no powerful women. He gets
Right.
intimidated when he has powerful women.
No, I don't think he's
Mark
intimidated.
Cuban, the jerk.
Mark
I
Cuban.
can't stand
Yeah.
him. Unbelievable. Stupid things he says.
And he's surrounding himself with women.
Yeah.
and they're all got top-notch jobs, too.
The girls that surrounded him for the thing that they're smarter than women that he probably hangs
Yeah.
around with.
Yeah.
And they're all like 10, 12, 15 years old, 20
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, the other story.
Okay.
In Trump's first term, and I wish we can find the clip,
Hmm.
he mentions about how great the iPhone is and how great what he says. Look right in front of it. Wouldn't it be great if they could make that phone here in the United States instead of China?
Got it.
Wow.
Yeah. Guess what?
Just announced Tim Cook visited the White House. Trump promised him all, like a lot of big tax breaks and things like that. And they're going to start for the next 4 years, $500 billion
in the U.S.
To build factories here.
Wow.
Mainly the big one, the AI one that they're going to do is in Houston, Texas, but also in Michigan, North Carolina, a couple of other states. So I think there's
Washington.
like five
Yeah.
or six states they're going to do.
Wow.
In the next 4 years,
And-
guarantee they're going to make the iPhone here.
And they're going to
eventually.
hire 20,000.
20,000 employees.
There you go. Bringing it back home, folks.
Yep, that's right.
Bringing it back home.
And they started the Keystone pipeline now.
Oh, okay.
They just started that today. He gave orders to start drilling
and
pumping the oil and everything. You watch. Gas prices are going to start plummeting.
Good, because,
They're gonna start going down.
Everybody's been talking about that. I know that he's been focused on the border and all that, and border crossings are down 97%, by the way. But they're talking about that, and then this Doge thing has been taking the news, but, people want to see prices start to come down, and I think that's an important thing he's got to focus on, especially if you see it in the gas. And like you said before, once gas comes down, transportation comes down, trucking
Everything
comes down.
does. Everything that's made.
Maybe
it's all
eggs, too.
petroleum based. And once the truck drivers and all the things that are made by petroleum, if that gas comes down, the petroleum comes down in price, they're going to lower the prices of whatever they make. So
so let's hope that all happens. I'd love to see gas back down to 250.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well,
Does
I
your
think
car take regular?
Yeah, I sometimes I put mid range in, but
Yeah, I put mid range. I put 89 in.
Yeah.
It calls for 91,
Hmm.
but I put 89 in.
I don't notice a difference. So
Yeah, I don't either.
when I'm broke, I just put the regular.
According
gas
to with my car with the BMW, they say BMW says you could put in 87, but you won't get the best gas mileage.
Oh, that makes
Want
sense.
the best gas mileage? You put in a little bit
91,
higher
yeah.
octane. But
Yeah.
who knows?
Well, I think that's probably a wrap.
That's it? You don't have any more? You had a whole list there on your phone.
No, we used them all. I think we're talking
You sure
40
you got
minutes.
your notes?
Yeah. No, we're good.
So where'd your son fly to? Vegas?
Yeah, he went to Vegas.
He's a pool player, huh?
He's a pool player in this league, and 3 teams get picked from the league. His team didn't get picked, but he was number 3 shooter in the overall scheme of things. So he got a trip to Vegas to play there in a championship tournament. And I think I don't know how much money is involved, 20 grand for 5 players for the winner.
Wow.
So he just landed today. Everything went well, and his flight didn't miss his flight.
Yeah.
I drove him. That's why.
Yeah.
Dad, can you pick us up at 5:15 a.m.? I'm like, really? I'm sitting in his driveway at 5:15. He didn't come out to 10 to 6.
10 to 6. That's
oh my God, you're gonna miss your plane.
unbelievable.
But thank God, the airport's only an hour and so for us, so it wasn't too bad. But he's there, and I hope to wish him all the luck in the world and see if he wins.
That's cool.
He's gonna keep me posted.
Yeah.
So
Yep. That's neat.
But I think we can close pretty good here. We got a lot of stuff, and we're going to start building for next week again. We are all over. If you haven't found us, we're there. YouTube. And on YouTube, there is an audio only, so don't get confused that you don't see the video. Just click the other one that says episode 12.
Right.
Because we do have a video version, audio version, and then Spotify and Apple and...
Yep. Apple Podcasts. I listen to that when I'm working because I'm driving all the time.
Yep.
I always listen to that on the Apple Podcast.
Pandora
nice.
Audio, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're there. Just search for us, all right? The Bill and Joe Show.
Yep.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Bill.
And have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Very good.
Thank you.